That's a neat trick. I didn't actually push record. But here we are. Hey folks, Wolfie here. It's time for another episode of Fat Guy Has Opinions. Yeah. So I noticed, I read about this a couple days ago, and this is the first time I've gone anywhere in my fancy car in a while. So, excuse to blog. There's cat prints, paw prints on my windshield. It's gotta be Simba. Anyway, so on its continued campaign to make sure no one ever uses it, the Rust community is at it again. Rust is the best way I can think to describe it, okay, I'll describe it in neutral language first. It is a self-proclaimed systems programming language that promises high performance, low footprint, and unparalleled, unmatched safety. Like, you know, no buffer overflows or overruns, and no integer overflows, and stack smash attacks and that kind of stuff. They claim that it's endlessly safe and hopelessly fast, and yeah. So that's as gentle an introduction as I'm going to give it. Now, what it really is it's a programming language, all right. It's implemented by and large as a giant pile of macros, which makes the language syntax less obnoxious. But of course, because they're macro expansions, it makes compilation take for fucking ever. Like, their compiler is absurdly slow. But, and a lot of its safety promises, again, come down to programmer practice. And it comes down to the skills of the developer. It's not a magic, oh, I'm going to write an operating system in Rust and it's guaranteed not to be hackable. Nah, it isn't anything like that. It's just today's toy. And I know that's going to burn some people up, and that's what I'm getting to next. The Rust itself may be, and I'm giving this a big maybe, might be technically interesting, like technologically interesting. After all, they've shoehorned it into the kernel, into the Linux kernel, so it must be good. No. NVIDIA gets their stupid little claws into the Linux kernel, and we all know how shitty their drivers are on Linux. But yeah, anyway, getting back to Rust. To date, to my knowledge, even though the hooks are there to build Linux kernel shit in Rust, I don't believe anybody's actually done anything with it. At least nothing useful. So there's certainly no production use of it. Rust's biggest problem is not the language itself, because there is nothing wrong with experimenting with new programming ideas, new languages, new techniques, all of that. That's perfectly fine. And any platform, any system that has technical flaws can be fixed. Again, not a problem. Even Bitcoin, my favorite whipping boy, because, oh my God, what a waste. Even that idea, cryptocurrency could be made to work someday if you could fix the myriad problems it's cursed with. But, you know, just like cryptocurrency, the biggest problem for Rust is the fucking community around it. My God. And in fact, there's a lot of similarities between crypto nerds and I'm using polite language there, and Rust evangelists. There is no such thing as a Rust developer. You have Rust cultists, or fanatics, or evangelists. These people are so arrogant. I have never seen language advocacy so just out there and so far up its own ass, huffing their own farts, bragging about all sorts of cool things they can do before they've bothered to do it. I mean, calling yourself, or calling your language a systems language is pretty presumptuous in the first place. That would be C, and C is a systems language because actual systems have been written in it. Just saying. You don't just write a programming language one day and declare it, oh, this is a systems tool. Like, well, nah, not so much. If I'm working with a little itty-bitty Raspberry Pi type of thing, and I have to load up fucking ZRAM and spin up a swap partition on an SD card just to compile a 10-line program in your toy language, that's not a systems language. That's a boutique language. It's a toy. But again, those are technical complaints, and you can fix those over time. I have no doubt the Rust compiler will get better once Rust attracts some competent developers. And when I say that, there is more to competency than producing code that works and producing designs that are efficient, elegant, and functional. See, part of being competent is being able to accomplish work. And that is something that the Rust community is absolutely allergic to. And the biggest reason is their stupid politics shit. And that's where they get obnoxious. Now, the reason that they attracted my attention for a video a couple days ago is that now they're getting all huffy. Well, they're one of these projects that has one of those god-awful code of conduct things. Meaning, if you misgender somebody, you can be excised surgically with no due process, no appeal, none of that shit. In other words, it's woke-tard garbage. And that's one of the biggest reasons Rust is never going to get anywhere. Because no matter how good it is, it comes with all sorts of baggage that nobody wants. I can't imagine trying to integrate anything Rust-related professionally when all that shit comes for free. That, okay, if we use this software, we have to be careful potentially about whether we use the right pronouns for something. No, fuck that. I'm not doing that. And what's gotten really obnoxious, they're taking every possible step to make this language as unappealing as possible. And this latest blunder is that they have a trademark for the word, for the Rust language, or whatever they're calling it, whatever the trademark is. Well, now they've decided that any community group that wants to build up, like a user group, that wants to spring itself up and organize around the Rust language, either teaching each other how to use it, or developing cool projects on it, or whatever, if they use the word Rust in their name, they have to adopt the same fucking code of conduct garbage. No. You can take your language and shove it up your ass. You really want me to agree that if I try to get people interested in your shit, I have to lecture them about pronouns? I have to avoid using Git repos with master branches? Are you fucking kidding me? That's ridiculous. And nobody is going to tolerate that. I mean, okay, some people are probably going to, because they buy into the cult anyway, and the tech industry is infested with this shit. And so it there's going to be people who will toe the line and start sucking the tranny dick, but and that's another issue. They are the Rust community is awash in hormone replacement therapy. just saying. So that's the kind of mental stability that you're working with, building a so-called systems language. But if you just spring onto the public stage and say, I have a tool that is better than everything everyone else has ever done, you should be using this, and you're not cool if you don't, Also, this is far better than the stuff you're used to that achieves results and is actually working right now. And also, you have to respect my pronouns and don't assume my gender, and your GitHub branches can't be named master. You racist pig. No, the world's gonna say, fuck you. One of the few nice things about, well, no, I still love the IT industry. Technology is awesome, and I love seeing it develop. And I'm really bummed out by the community that surrounds Rust, because it does seem like an interesting idea. But one of the nice things about the tech industry is that results are obvious, and results tend to come first and foremost when you get down to it. Yeah, there's a bunch of, if you're in a big company, there's all sorts of woke garbage and politics you have to deal with. But in companies that are more interested in earning profit than virtue signaling day and night, putting rainbow flags on their Twitter accounts, except in the Middle East. I love that shit. Then companies tend to care about results. And I know for a fact, at my company, if I go and install something that might subject the company to some kind of outside moral busybody, they're going to look at me and say, get rid of that shit. Even my boss, who is an absolute avid fan of Rust, he's one of the few that's not annoying about it. He's actually pretty cool about it. And he openly acknowledges that the community is its biggest problem. But come on, you cannot just endlessly give people reasons not to use your shit, especially when you're being so arrogant about it and insisting that you have, you've got the holy grail of software development. No, you don't. Everybody has said that. Every single programming language that's ever been made has said that. Except Brainfuck. I don't think anybody ever figured on writing a kernel in Brainfuck. Although that'd be pretty impressive. I don't actually think Brainfuck is Turing complete, though. I don't remember. Look that one up if you're curious. It is a real language. There is a real compiler for it, and it actually does stuff. The syntax is a bit of a brainfuck, hence the name. Anyway. Yeah, so Rust community, go fuck yourself. Get over yourself. Get your heads out of your asses. Put your gender fluid shit away. Put a cap on it. Quit huffing your own farts. Come back to Earth. And maybe come back to the tech industry with a bit of humility. And we'll give your toy a bit more consideration. How about that? All right. I am at my destination, so off I go. Catch you later, guys.